knowledge discovery from social media for known marketing. Known product selling is always a hot topic for banks and credit unions. The simplest way to approach a prospective customer is by cold call, but the response rate is very low and costs a lot of human capital. The better way could be conducting survey or questionnaire to collect the customer information to analyze the customer behavior in order to target a group of high-profile people. But it's time-consuming to conduct the survey and it cannot truly reflect the customer preference. Therefore, recently, it's proposed to use social media data to help to spot the earlier change of customer behavior and then analyze the public sentiment. People love to use social media sites to express their opinions. The cost of collecting the social media data is very low and the industry can get the rapid results.
In this project, we will analyze the messages posted on the social media site, the China Weibo, in order to discover the public sentiments toward credit card product. China Weibo is the most popular social media site in mainland China. It can provide us a huge source of information to do the analysis. And we narrow down the project scope to the credit card product. Credit card is a popular product in the market and it could be very interesting to understand how the people feel about this product issued by different banks.
To achieve our project goals, the project is divided into 3 stages. At the first stage, we will collect the social media messages from China Weibo using Weibo API and then process the data using word segmentation. At the second stage, we will build a back-of-word model and then train the model using a suitable data mining algorithm. At the last stage, we will analyze the result using the model and the data we collected and then do a sentiment analysis to discover any interesting pattern related to customer behavior. To process the messages we collected from China Weibo, segmentation the center is required. Word segmentation is a necessary step for sentiment analysis. Each message should be segmented into a collection of meaningful words. However, unlike English, sentences written in Chinese are formed by a sequence of Chinese characters without spaces between them. Let's look at this example. We can't directly segment the sentence character by character since they can't represent the actual meaning of the sentence. We must combine some characters together based on the semantic meaning to form the vocabulary. However, doing it by human could be very time-consuming. Therefore, we will use the popular Chinese word semantics, IK Analyze, a program that can help us to segment the sentence automatically. And we will use the back-of-word model in our sentiment analysis. It treated each message as another collection of words. After we will segment each message into meaningful words, we will use the most frequency word approach to choose a back-of-word to be the feature of the model. The back-of-word feature vector can form the dictionary that can represent the messages we collected. And after we have selected the back-of-word and collected all the messages, we can start building up the feature vector table. The back-of-word chosen represent the feature in the model, and the feature value is the occurrence of that word in the text messages. So we will count the number of times the vocabulary appear in the message and form the feature vector table. The feature vector value can help us to measure the similarity between the messages that can help us to train the model to classify the sentiment of the messages. Since social media data is full of commercial spam messages, it's important that we can filter out the noise to set spam messages and extract the message which can express the sentiment and opinions related to credit card. Therefore, we will build up 2 separate back-of-word models. One model is used to classify the messages as spam and non-spam messages. Then, after the classification, we will filter out the spam messages and then use another model to classify the messages as positive or negative. That means whether the author of the messages expressed good comments or negative comments on credit card products. The bed-of-word model can then be trained using a suitable learning algorithm. The bed-of-word model needed to be trained using a suitable data mining algorithm. And we consider two data mining algorithms to train the model. Logistic regression is a type of regression analysis used for predicting the binary variables based on a feature vector. It can model the probability of the positive outcome as a function of the feature vector using a logistic function. Another algorithm we will consider is naive Bayes algorithm. Naive Bayes classifier is based on the Bayes theorem and assumes that all features in the feature vector are independent, and it compares the posterior probability that the text messages belong to different classes and assign it to the class with the highest posterior probability. From the message we collected, we use a portion of the data to train up the model. We build the model using logistic regression and naive Bayes algorithm respectively, and then evaluate the performance of the algorithm. We use 4 classical performance measurements: accuracy, precision, recall, and F measure, and the result shows that the naive Bayes algorithm performs better than the logistic regression. Then we will use the naive Bayes algorithm to help us to classify the remaining messages. After the classification, 40% of the messages are classified as positive, and 60% of the messages are classified as negative. Therefore, it seems that more people show negative sentiments toward credit card products. After analyzing the overall public sentiments toward credit card, you can drill down the data to see which credit card issuer have more positive public sentiment and which one have more negative sentiment. To do that, we have chosen 6 credit card issuers to be considered in this study. By matching the messages that contain the respective credit card issuer name, we can find out how many messages are talking about them. And using our model, the number of positive and negative messages can be calculated. And then to measure the performance of our model, we also manually classify those messages and then calculate the accuracy. And the results show that the performance is quite satisfactory. That means that our model can be quite accurate to classify the messages. And lastly, we calculate the proportion of the messages that is positive and negative for each credit card issuer, and the result is sorted from the higher to lower proportion of positive messages. And this kind of analysis can give the credit card issuer an idea their reputation in the public and also compare the public place with the other credit card issuer.
In conclusion, our model can automatically classify the sentiment of the messages, and the results can provide valuable information for the credit card issuer to better understand the reputation among the public and then improve their products to promote an effective marketing campaigns. And also, our research approach is not limited to credit card products. It can apply it on any types of customer products to do the public sentiment analysis. Therefore, social media site data can provide us a huge source of information to utilize, and using an appropriate data mining model can help us to discover a lot of valuable knowledge from them.